Hello and welcome back to Channel Recap Movies. Today we going to watching the new movies that show about a woman where died and can alive. It's called Beautiful Accident. To know it clearly, let's see together. At the beginning of the movie is a woman sitting in the office named Lee Yu-run. She is a layer and she is a main character. One day, a rich family hired her to solve a case related to violence. They also sat opposite each other to solve the problem. The story is about a boy who is the son of a rich family who used violence on a girl. Looks like the boy was really gangster, did not admit his guilt and asked the lawyer to sue the girl again. Because they were wealthy families, the female lawyer also received money from them to get the girl compensation to end the story. Looking at the girl's mother, she is not happy, but she cannot help her daughter. Just crying in front of them is really unfair to the poor. Because he does not have the money to find a good lawyer to demand justice for his daughter when they use such violence. The case ended with the girl accepting revenge, but not justice. Then Lee Yu-run, she came out and suddenly meet with her senior. The man said she had violated the lawyer's profession, but she did not listen to the words of one of the senior. The man continued, how would she feel if someone did this to her? But she did not pay attention to the man, and she drove away. She is also a person who always does not care about the people around her. When she got home, she cooked her own dinner of beef steak and red wine. Her life looks successful but seems lonely without warmth, and no one wants to live with her. After dinner, she packed her clothes in a suitcase to prepare for her studies abroad. While preparing, she saw a photo of her parents, but her mother tore the father's side off. Next day she came to say goodbye to her mother at her mother's grave, and she said, "If you hate Dad, why don't you let me know, Dad?" And then she left. One night while she drove the car with the heavy rain, and also have an accident on the road. There was so much smoke at the time that she could not see. At the same time, a big car came to crush her car in full force. She was in an accident at the time, but when she regained consciousness she was sitting in one place. She looked around, she looked strange and never seen. Because this is not hell, this is hell, but she does not know. Immediately, the servant called her name to meet. She also walked with a piece of red paper. The look on the face of a female employee is really scary. And the female staff said that this is a place that determines the destiny of each person. She is not required to come here, so she has to meet with the administration. Hearing this made Lee Yu-run very surprised because the people here said strange things and did not understand. She immediately met with the public administrator. Once there, the staff did not think of doing anything, but were busy painting their fingernails. Lee Yu-run also handed out a red paper to the female staff to look at. After reading the letter, she was shocked. She also brought Lee Yu-run to meet a man who was the manager there. Arriving at that place made our actress even more amazing. And the man told her you were dead in a car accident. But she did not believe him and replied, how can I die if I am still beautiful? The man also said that this is where the spirits of the dead are controlled, but you are not yet dead. And you can change your life. You had to do something to live a new life for a week. And he also said that you were not changed, the body and mind are all the same. After listening, she agreed and put her head into a machine to convert her time to life. Suddenly she woke up, but she was no longer single and civilized like before. She is married and now her husband is sleeping in his arms. She was surprised and jumped out of the room in shock and saw her daughter and son eating breakfast. Her son ran to hug her, but she did nothing wrong because it did not seem to be true. She ran to the bathroom and her son shouted, "Mom, hurry up and get me to school." She opened the bathroom door and replied, "Wait a minute, Mom, go change clothes first." She also went to open the closet. No clean clothes like she used to wear before, only old clothes and suits like grandma. With no choice, she wears such a suit to send her children to school. After taking the child to the school bus, many young mothers came to talk to her, but she really did not know anyone. Suddenly she ran out and shouted, "I have an urgent job, I cannot talk to you all," but it is just an excuse because she does not know anyone. She then came to the office where she worked and met with colleagues, but no one recognized her. She then left and walked towards her condo, but the security guard did not let her in. Because it looks like the dress does not suit the people living in this condo, she was very angry and walked out. While walking down the street, she came up with an idea. She ran to the middle of the road to be hit by a car, and everything was over. But no car dared to hit her. She ran the car again. This method was not successful. She came to the bathroom and suddenly she met the man who was the sole manager there. She said to the man, "I want to go back to the way I was." The man replied that you could not stand it any longer and everything would be back to normal. Then she returned to her house and bathed her son. While blowing his hair, her son said, "I know mom is not my mom. You are an alien." Hearing this make her wonder. And she replied, "It's fine, nice to meet you." When it was time for dinner, she fried beef for them to eat, but they did not know how to eat it. And she really wonder again. At night, she came to talk with her husband in the room. She asked her husband, "Tomorrow you have a party night at your workplace, right?" Her husband said, "Yes, we gonna go together, darling." And she asked her husband to buy a new clothes for her, and he was agreed. And on the night she didn't sleep in the room with her husband. She slept on a balcony in the living room. In the morning she prepared breakfast for her children and husband as much as each time. And she also sent her son to school, but she did not arrive at the school bus because she did not want to see another mother. Don't want them to ask her so much because she does not know them all. She went to withdraw money to buy the new clothes she wanted. On arrival home, her husband finds it really angry because it is only expensive. Her husband also said that all this money was saved for children's studies. Why would you take to buy expensive goods like this? Why are you more different than ever? And then speaking out, her husband went out and worked out and she was really angry. She also came outside for an emotional drink. While walking home she also found her daughter poised to kiss together with her boyfriend. She also walked close to making them both embarrassed. Her daughter escaped. But she did not blame her daughter and her daughter was also happy and said the boyfriend was really very handsome. Upon arriving at home she also came into her son's room and the boy asked if mom was back to me. Heard like this she had no idea what kind of answer. She walked out of the room and came to drink in the outdoor hall. Suddenly, the sole manager also reappeared. She asked where the child's mother died. The manager also replied that their mother died because she failed to do one thing that was proud for her family. Listen, and Lee Yu-run asked nothing more. She came and sat down and watched a TV with a video when she got married. A happy time and happiness marriage, then she fell asleep on a sofa. The next day she also made a beautiful arrangement to go for a party with her husband. When entering the show venue they also met with the boss and their husband was talking about work, and an older man walked in. And the man also called her husband outside to speak to each other only two. The man said he should not be concerned than the problems. His wife quite right away, she immediately approached the boss and said his company was improperly constructed at scale. And the elderly guy also cut her off and assured that ask the president not to worry about building is very accurate at very good scale. I was in charge, not her, but that the president did not seem to believe the man's remarks. She and her husband also came outside and sat down in a shop on one street, looking very happy when exposed to this kind of truth. They also walked each other back home and then it was when she started to love her husband. As they returned home was creating a suite and heard the sound of her daughter's cheating and crying voice. Her husband opened the door of the room and found his daughter's face beaten by the boyfriend, who was abused. He was really angry. She also took her hand to the daughter's pumpkin and was absolutely hurt when this was done to daughter. The following day they also came to negotiate with the boy's family, but the boy's family was rich, made her husband think there was no hope of winning. He intended to walk in to apologize but his wife barred from saying sorry. And she as a wife mentioned the issue, leaving me as a solver. Once back in the room, the boy's lawyer said wanted her daughter to apologize on the boy who had scarred his face. Lee Yu-run replied what my daughter had to apologize to if this boy was beat her my daughter first. One lawyer also continued that because they were young, so they knew nothing. But our girl also said they were of all ages because they were 18 years old and enough to be brought into a reversal center. making her a mother and a lawyer really terrified. Lee Yu-run went on to say that this is the law and you must not continue to put someone else like this anymore, otherwise you will be guilty. After saying no to the actress, the boy rushed to beat Yu-run. But she was handcuffed, do not want to try with her because she also used to practice taekwondo. The boy's family also pleaded guilty and paid full damages. The next day, her daughter went to school with her husband and she sent her son to school, but when she could not see, she took him to the hospital. She was really nervous and worried about her child at that time, because this is the heart of the mother. When the doctor examined, he said that her baby was not in serious condition, do not worry, but she was still worried. The time has come for the sole manager to take her back and she said, "Can I ask for time to visit my son for a moment?" After the manager agreed, she ran quickly to meet her children, immediately met her daughter, she hugged her first. She went into the room to see her son, who was receiving medical treatment. Suddenly, her husband arrived. Her husband told to go home relax because she was tired, and then she quickly hugged her husband and crying because she knew that she cannot came back after she leave at that time. She got in the car with the manager and he drove too fast, frightening her. She also said, "Do you drive so fast? Take me to born in a new life or take me to death." Suddenly the car crushed, she woke up, but did not know where she was. She also asked the nurse where I was. The nurse replied that she had been in the hospital since yesterday. When she woke up, she went out to look for her children and husband, but could not find them. She went to that house, but when she arrived, someone else lived there and came to the place to go to school, but no one knew her. She returned to her condo as usual, and in the morning she went to see her senior student and said, "Please help solve and protest for girls who have problems in the past." He was agreed and she left. In the condo, also, her friends came to visit with her friends' children. She seems to love children very much like her daughter. At one point, she sat down to look at a previous photo. After a while, she took a photo and suddenly saw a picture of her family with her father, her mother and her in it. Only then did she realize that the soul manger was her father. Before she left the country, she came to say goodbye to her mother's grave again. The next day, she boarded a plane to study abroad, in her seat next to a man who was her husband in a dream. She was shocked and asked, "Where are the children?" But the man answered, "Whose son am I? If I am single not yet marriage." And the man is her future husband. Due to the lack of warmth, she did not understand what is called love with those around her. Destiny tells us that a dream will make us remember it for a lifetime and will never forget what we saw. This scenario is eager to reveal one of our lives irregularly if wants to do what to be done and do good, don't regret going to the next day. So now our movie recap is end. Hope you guys enjoy with this video. Please support us by click the subscribe, live, comment and don't forget to click the bell icon to get more video. Thank you, have a good luck.